What if I told you that there's an ancient Chinese secret that can actually help melt stubborn belly fat? And doesn't involve workouts, crash diets, or weird supplements. Now I know it sounds too good to be true, but we've been taught the only way to lose belly fat is to eat less and exercise more. Now while that is an essential piece, in traditional Chinese medicine, belly fat in particular is seen completely differently. It's not just seen as calories in or calories out. It's often a sign that your digestion, your metabolism, or even your energy systems are out of balance. Now in this video, we're going to share a couple Chinese remedies that have been used for hundreds of years. I'll explain why modern science says they work, and also show you how to use them at home today. Hey guys, I'm Dr. Alex Heyne, board licensed doctor of acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine, and author of the health book, Master the Day. Let's jump in. Now, I'll never forget a few years ago, a woman came to my clinic in Los Angeles, and she was telling me how she was eating really well every day. She actually showed me her food log in MyFitnessPal, the phone app. She was working out 4 or 5 days a week, hard workouts. She was sleeping decently well. She was staying away from alcohol and coffee and high calorie foods. And she was just saying, I'm not losing the weight. And in my 30s, it wasn't like that. I was able to lose the weight. And as we started working with her more on her case, we understood that she had lots of digestive problems. So her gut microbiome was all out of whack. She also had significantly high stress levels from her work. So her cortisol levels and her adrenals had problems. And beyond that, of course, she had other hormonal imbalances. And by working on these 3 body systems, she finally ended up losing more of the weight than she was able to before. Over time, I've learned that in traditional Chinese medicine, belly fat isn't just calories in, calories out, but it's often linked to factors like your digestive health, what we call dampness, and spleen qi. That's like your pancreatic function, your digestive enzyme production, as well as your insulin production. So in traditional Chinese medicine, you can think of your gut like the body's furnace. When the fire's too weak, food turns into dampness and into fat. Now let's talk about the 5 kinds of stubborn weight gain according to traditional Chinese medicine. I found this to be very interesting preparing for this video because these are some things you might be thinking of, but this is expanding the box, thinking outside of the box of just fat is fat, it's just calories. And while those are essential pieces, don't get me wrong, there are other boxes you need to look at from a medical point of view if you want to lose this for good. So within traditional Chinese medicine, we actually look at why your body is holding on to the weight. And here's where it gets really interesting. Because depending on your root imbalance, the way you gain weight, even the way you feel in your body, can be totally different. Let me give you a few examples. So the first one is really the most common, and that's what we call spleen qi deficiency. Think of it as like pancreatic enzyme deficiency or issues with insulin production. So you can think of your spleen in traditional Chinese medicine as your digestive fire. If it's weak, food doesn't get transformed properly, and instead of turning into energy, it turns into a kind of damp, heavy sludge, which shows up as belly fat, bloating, that heavy, sluggish feeling after meals, or even fatty liver. So these are the people who can eat even a normal meal and still feel tired afterwards. But then there's another type that goes deeper. This is what we call kidney yang deficiency. This is like when the body's furnace just doesn't have enough fire. These folks are cold all the time, their hands and feet are freezing when they come in, they feel exhausted, and their metabolism is slow. They'll say things like, I hardly eat anything and I'm still gaining weight. So that's basically classic kidney yang weakness. And in Western biomedical terms, it often looks a lot like thyroid or adrenal issues. Now the third cause is what we call liver qi stagnation. This one's tied to stress and hormones. So in what we call the liver energy, which is basically like your nervous system and your stress hormone system, when it's stuck, it doesn't regulate your hormones smoothly. And that leads to cravings, emotional eating, mood swings, and stubborn weight right around the waist. So these are the people that come into my clinic and say, Dr. Heyne, whenever I'm stressed, I grab sweets or comfort food. And it really does end up showing up around the belly. Then we have the next type that we call yin deficiency, which is super common, especially as people get into their 40s and beyond. You could think of the yin as like the cooling and moistening side of the body, like the engine oil in your car. You get hot at night, you have trouble sleeping, you have sugar cravings, dryness, night sweats, and yes, sometimes weight gain, especially around the midsection and the back. In modern biomedicine, this is often linked to menopause, dropping estrogen and progesterone, and the way it changes where your fat gets stored, especially if your weight was pretty level until perimenopause, and then that 10 pounds just could not stop from creeping up. You see this a lot. And then finally is a stubborn one, which is what we call phlegm dampness. So phlegm dampness is often when things have been out of balance for a while, especially your digestive system and your lymphatic system. This is where your body feels heavy and sluggish. There's brain fog, swelling. Often there's also fatty liver that overlaps with body fat increase. The tongue coating itself will look like a fat, swollen tongue, sometimes with scalping marks and a thick coat. And this is the person who says to me, no matter what I do, nothing changes. That's sort of what we call deep dampness and phlegm blocking the system. And usually it's preceded by several years or decades of digestive problems, food allergies, SIBO, that kind of thing. So when you look at belly fat through this lens, it's not just about calories in, calories out. It's a sign of what's happening inside your body. And that's why one remedy works wonders for one person, but does nothing for another, because the root cause is different. Now, if you can't figure out which of these specific root causes is causing the stubborn weight gain and the fat gain, make sure you download my free root cause quiz right below this video. You can go to dralexheyne.com/quiz. You can go through your symptoms, because it's usually not just weight gain. Go through all your symptoms and it will show you, oh, this is primarily digestive. This is primarily stress hormone. This is primarily kidneys and adrenal. And we go through meticulously what symptoms are related to your specific symptoms. And we also point to our best related videos on those exact topics. So make sure you check out that quiz down below the video. So you might be wondering, ancient secrets are cool, but do they actually hold up to modern research? The answer is yes. And here's what the science has found so far for 3 ingredients that we are going to be talking about for belly fat that you can consume on a daily basis. That's like food grade medicine. We're going to be talking about hawthorn, shanja, pu'er tea, which is this, and then also chenpi, which is aged tangerine or orange peel. And it tends to look like that. So let's dive into number 1, which is shanja or hawthorn. Now, hawthorn shanja is called crataegus. And in one rat study, they gave hawthorn berry drink over several weeks, and they saw that the treated rats had a lower body weight compared to the controls. Now, another recent study, what they did was they extracted hawthorn polysaccharides, and they showed improvement in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease in mice. And they had reduced fat accumulation and better lipid profiles. So how does this actually work? One of the ways that shanja actually works is that it improves your fat metabolism, less fat stored, more burned. It also helps your gut quite a lot. So it affects the morphology of your intestines. It increases the villi length, which can boost your nutrient absorption and also your gut health. It's also very good for cholesterol and triglycerides. All 3 of these actually, pu'er tea, shanja, and chenpi, are all very, very good for triglycerides, LDL, cholesterol, that kind of thing, and heart health. So shanja also falls in that suit. Now, medicine number 2 is called pu'er tea. Now, pu'er tea is very interesting because this is something that I drink on a daily basis. This is very much like a pretentious tea culture, like fine wine is. So I'll buy these tea cakes that come like this. There are several $100s, and I get them from specific cultivars in Asia. Authentic pu'er tea can come from only one particular region in China for it to be real and authentic. And it's pressed and aged in these cakes, and this is a remnant of ancient times, like on the Silk Road, where the cakes would be pressed so they could be layered, stacked and stored either in bricks or flat cakes like this. This is one of the best teas day to day for all kinds of things. But today we're going to be talking about its relationship to fat loss and weight gain. Now, there was a very interesting 3-month trial in patients with metabolic syndrome. So think of like diabetes. Now, those who took the pu'er tea extract capsules, 303 milligrams 3 times a day, so about 1 gram, showed slight reductions in their body weight and more noticeably in the male subgroup. So how does this funny smelling tea actually work? First is that pu'er is a fermented tea. This actually contains unique compounds like polyphenols, which help produce new fat synthesis and increase your fat burning. But the main reason I drink pu'er is because of how it impacts your gut microbiota. In mice and humans, pu'er tea shifts your gut bacterial balance, which seems to also reduce your fat accumulation. And it also improves your lipid metabolism enzymes. So it slows basically your body's ability to make new fat, and it also increases your fat breakdown. Let's go to food grade remedy number 3 for fat loss. This is chenpi, or aged tangerine or orange peel. Chenpi, very interesting aromatic kind of smell to it. It's very, it has like a very pungent, slightly bitter taste. And it's a very, very good digestif in Chinese medicine. In some studies, they had this high-fat chow they gave the mice and the rats deliberately to induce metabolic problems and also fatty liver. They found that the Chenpi extract slowed the prevention of obesity and type 2 diabetes. The rats had better glucose metabolism, less fat accumulation, and also less liver damage. In another study, they fed the mice Chenpi and found that they had decreased fat accumulation, improved antioxidant capacity, changes in their gut health, their gut microbiota, and changes in the short-chain fatty acids in their guts. Now, what's also neat is that there's a newer randomized clinical trial with a fermented tangerine peel enzyme drink that was given for 8 weeks, and they showed improvements in serum triglycerides and also changes in your lipids, metabolic markers, and also modest weight changes. Now look guys, I don't want to BS you by saying if you just drink tangerine peel tea, you'll lose 40 pounds. You won't. There's no way around eating better and regular exercise to lose fat and body weight. No question about it. But some of these other internal medicine approaches can help, especially if you feel like you're doing it all right and still not losing weight. And of course, whether it is pu'er, hawthorn, or it is Chenpi tangerine peel, these have so many other health benefits, and they're considered like a food-grade medicine you can consume daily to move your heart health and your metabolic health in the right direction. Now, if you're wondering, actually acupuncture can help you lose weight too. And I've shot a great related video for you here on 7 ways acupuncture can help you lose weight.